Normally, I would not do any Steel Path mission longer than 15 minutes right now. I already have my fill of level cap in the past, and I'm enjoying Warframe as a chill game these days. However, the new Warframe changed this, and I did not even notice that I already did the Steel Path survival mission for 35 minutes. There's nothing to brag here, and all I want to say is that this is the effect of the new Warframe, and let me tell you how broken and enjoyable playing the new Warframe named KOUMEI. The Warframe is very unique in my opinion, and she's exhilarating to play because of the luck factor. This may sound bad as sometimes things go wrong when you just are dependent on luck alone, but let me share to you how I build the Warframe so you can enjoy the luck mechanic of this Warframe. So, her first ability is like a priming skill wherein you can inflict multiple statuses to enemies. The skill has good range and it can be upgraded with mods to make it even better. Now, KOUMEI has a dice mechanic that allows you to roll 5 dice. If you are lucky and rolled 3 6s, then you inflict 1 proc of every elemental status effect to enemies hit by the skill. Take note that the effect simultaneously activates once you roll 3 6s and not after. This ability increases its damage with power strength mods and then gets multiplied by the total number of your dice roll. In my build, I have 3 8.75 damage multiplier with the transient fortitude mod, and if I rolled a total of 24, then I will deal 930 damage on the element I have inflicted to the target. This might seem small, but remember that elements like heat that can also stack has a chance to proc with this ability. And based from experience, the Warframe is really good when it comes to energy efficiency. Although this Warframe has no energy maintenance skill, but I always have energy to cast my abilities with the help of Arcane Energize. The Warframe is efficient in killing, especially if you are using good weapons to combo with her. In most cases, I find myself casting her first ability and also her ultimate called Bunraku that can also inflict multiple statuses to the enemies. Initially, I thought the dice roll affects how many statuses you inflict to target, and if it exceeds the number of statuses available in the game, then it will just inflict all of those statuses. The fact is, the number of dice roll is actually the total number of statuses you inflict. Say, for example, you have rolled 21 in your dice, and there are chances that it will inflict 10 stacks of cold, 5 stacks of viral, and 6 stacks of toxin, totaling to 21 statuses. In short, it doesn't give you 21 individual statuses, but it gives you the total of stacks, and you might end up inflicting random individual statuses to targets. Hence, it's good to combo with her first ability so that you can self-prime enemies with statuses without depending on weapons. Priming or the act of inflicting statuses is crucial for this Warframe, as your second ability is dependent on this. Now, I think KOUMEI's second ability is the most broken if you are lucky. This is really a shock, as Digital Extremes decided to take the decree system of duviri and implement it on a Warframe so we can use it outside of the operator exclusive open world. And KOUMEI's second ability is not limited, and you could potentially get all the decrees for the Warframe if you are doing endurance runs. What this ability does is every time you cast it, it will issue a challenge which will task you to either kill enemies with headshots, sliding, or even while latching from a wall. There are also instances wherein it requires you to kill enemies within 10 meters or 20 meters away from you. And there are also challenges that will task you to kill enemies that are afflicted with cold, toxin, or heat, which is why I said that priming is crucial for the Warframe. Every time you complete the challenge, you will be rewarded with a random decree, and if you are lucky, then you get the chance to get a rare tier decree. After that, the ability will cool down and you have to wait for a couple of seconds to use it again. For every decree gained, the cooldown of the ability will increase. The longest cooldown I got was 150 seconds when I above 13 degrees, but I don't know yet if this is the longest as it needs further test. If you get lucky and rolled 3 6s, by the way, then you will get a decree without any challenge. Now, this is the most thrilling part of playing KOUMEI, and it was really fun because I was not just brain dead focused and slaughtering enemies, but I actually enjoyed the challenges and got super excited on what decree I can get next. This is what makes the Warframe super fun to play with, and I really did not realize that I was spending too much time in the Steel Path mission than usual because of this mechanic. And finally, KOUMEI's survivability is also based on luck, as her third ability, called Omamori, will heal your Warframe instead of taking damage from an enemy hit. It's like a copycat of Revenant's Mesmer Shield, but it has a 50% chance to heal you, and each time you spend a charge, the ability will have a 3-second cooldown before it can give you that 50% chance of healing again instead of taking damage. In paper, this is an ass survivability skill as it depends on luck, but KOUMEI doesn't only have this as her first and fourth abilities, does provide huge crowd control also. Then you can pair it with the shield gating mechanic to make the Warframe unkillable, and if you somehow rolled 3 6s once you cast the ability, then it will grant you invulnerability to all damage for the whole duration of the skill. Finally, I would like to talk about her passive, which grants a weapon a random status every 60 seconds. Beside the dice wheel of KOUMEI, you will see an icon with duration, and this indicates what weapon has a random status. Basically, the Warframe is great when it comes to crowd control, priming, survivability, and she also has a unique mechanic that is fun to play with. Although I can't say that she's meta, but she can be broken in Steel Path level cap if you have the time to invest and stack up all those decrees. Now, the build I am showing you is Steel Path ready, but it's not the most optimal, as I could be missing something else. However, let me share to you why I have chosen each mod mods. First of all, Archon mods are quite handy for this Warframe. KOUMEI's abilities are great in inflicting statuses, and you can proc Electric, which grants you energy restore with Archon Stretch. Then you can also proc Heat with her abilities, which will grant you the double heat proc of Archon Vitality. And finally, the Archon Continuity procs often and gives corrosive stacking because of how often also Toxin procs in both her first and fourth abilities. Archon Flow is really not that impactful, but I just have it for the additional energy economy, as I can also spare a slot for this mod. And finally, the additional 30% power strength of Archon Intensified does proc when your third ability restore your health. This is good for increasing the damage multiplier of your first ability and as well as the health multiplier of your third skill. The best part is you don't get negative duration from mods like Transient Fortitude. However, if you want to optimize your shield gating build, then it would be wise to go with Blind Rage so Brief Respite will have more shield restore. This mod will also increase your overall damage and heal, but it would trim a portion of your energy economy because of its efficiency debuff. Also, adaptation is also optional, and you can go with Catalyzing Shield to abuse Brief Respite and the shield gating mechanic. However, you will need to replace Blind Rage here, as you would want your build to be energy efficient, and in most cases, you will see yourself casting your abilities more often compared to just having adaptation and chilling, waiting for a good defensive decree to boost your survivability. Also, I would like to add that the Duriga Sentinel with Electro Pulse can be helpful sometimes, especially if you are doing challenges. Now, I'm that kind of guy who doesn't just rely on luck alone, hence I devise a synergy which will inflict Toxin, Electric, Heat, and Cold. I have tried relying solely on the Warframe's abilities to stack statuses, but I just can't help myself and look for a more surefire alternative in getting the status I need. The statuses given by the abilities are too random sometimes that I really need to add priming in my combo. In my case, I modded my primary weapon with Corrosive and Heat and just added the Arcane Acceleration in my Warframe slot as I don't have any specific arcane needed for the second one. Then I used the Duriga Sentinel that procs Electric with its Electro Pulse precept. By the way, this mod can still proc the melee influence arcane, and you can use this trick to spread multiple statuses to enemies further while using your melee. Then I used the Verglass weapon on my Sentinel added with Toxin. And finally, I used the Epitaph so I can proc Cold to multiple targets easily and kill them with other weapons. With this build setup, you can complete challenges faster, allowing you to stack up decrees and endurance runs and enjoy the Warframe even more. And lastly, I want to add Archon Shard recommendations on this video. If you have the resources, I would say that both duration and casting speed will come in handy with the Warframe. The duration stats will further improve your survivability when you become invulnerable with KOUMEI's third ability, not to mention that it will also extend the duration of your status priming and crowd controlling abilities. For casting speed, it's crucial for my playstyle, especially that the build is also dependent on the shield gating mechanic. KOUMEI is yet another Warframe I enjoyed while not relying on the helmet system. Her skills are really good and fun to use, and if you like what you saw in this video, then go farm the Warframe right now by going to the Plains of Eidolon to talk with Saya and do the task she asked you to get the blueprints of this Warframe. Just remember that you will need to complete the Saya's Vigil and once await quest to get the transmission from Saya which starts the quest. So that's all about it. I hope that this video helps, and I hope that you will enjoy playing the new Warframe. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you again in our next video.